Welcome back. You're watching Today. Now, an estimated 11,000 children are born with Clubfoot in southern Africa. For those who don't know, it's a common birth defect that affects muscles and bones in the feet. It's for this reason that Karen Moss has decided to kick off this Disability Awareness Month by raising awareness about the condition. We're joined in studio by the campaign's ambassador, Mpumi Mhlongo, along with STEP's charity CEO and founder, Karen Moss, via Zoom this afternoon. Thank you very much for your time, to the both of you, actually. And Karen, I'm going to start with you, only because you've started off with this particular campaign, to give us an explanation of what exactly Clubfoot is and what this campaign looks to highlight.
Thank you. Yes, well, Clubfoot is a common birth condition. It's diagnosed at birth, which means it's congenital. And what happens with a clubfoot is the foot is turned over, pointed inwards, pointing down, and all the muscles and tendons are very rigid and tight. So you cannot actually manipulate that foot into a standard foot position. So really, when you see a person with untreated clubfoot, they're walking with great difficulty, but also almost on the top of their feet. So you can imagine that if a child is not treated for clubfoot, what the results are that person will be living with a disability and unable to move without pain or a lot of difficulty.
Yeah, and then so tell us about the campaign and the awareness and resources you're trying to raise with it.
Right, the campaign is a Tik Tok challenge. We have an Amapiano song that was written by Dina Moran and two Amapiano stars, BDJ and DJ Schuster, and it's called I Am Possible. And we have done a Tik Tok challenge where a dance was choreographed with Musamota from the Britain's Got Talent recent fame, who's now actually busy recording America's Got Talent. He's a dancer living with a disability who's made the most incredible, impact internationally through dance, and then also choreographed by Mpumi Mhlongo, who's ex-Bumshaka. And we're challenging the public to download our Amapiano song for a minimum of 10 Rand, however much they want to donate is of course welcome. Then to learn the challenge. The tutorial is actually on our website with Mpumi himself doing the tutorial with Mapule, and load it onto TikTok and use the hashtag Step It Up. And our TikTok page is Steps Clubfoot Care, and that is really what the challenge is about. The impact of the campaign is we have a goal to raise 1 million Rand through this campaign, which will support the treatment of 400 children born with clubfoot in South Africa. These are children being treated in public clinics, and we support a partnership of 39 clinics around the country, and we will make sure that there will be 400 children that will be able to walk, run, play and dance thanks to the support that this campaign receives.
Yeah, thank you for that explanation. And Mpumi, I want to bring you in at this point because I want to understand why you took up the ambassadorship of this particular campaign and what it means for you to raise the kind of awareness that Karen has just explained around clubfoot.
I think it's twofold. You know, before I'm an athlete, I'm a person and a contributing citizen in the country. And I really think that the future of South Africa rests in the support and livelihood and mobility that we give the kids of today. So a massive part of what I stand for is ensuring that whatever kid that can prevent permanent disability will almost inevitably be a contributing factor to where South Africa goes, which means we are able to reach our potential. And that's close to my heart. I myself was born with deformed clubfoot and amniotic band syndrome. And I've seen what mobility has done in my life. It's allowed me to represent the country, get a chemical engineering degree, and since as I see myself somebody who contributes to the wider economy of South Africa.
Yeah, and tell us about that personal experience and the idea that had you not had the kind of support and the resources that you've just expressed, you wouldn't have been able to explore your talents as an athlete.
And my personal journey, I must say, you know, my parents are really the protagonists of my childhood. They went through all the public health care systems. They saw all the specialists. But all it did is really gave me confidence that a lot is possible even in my limitations. And when you are a child that can see that there are things that you trespassing and there's boundaries that you can break, it allows you that as you're getting older to believe that I can be the top A student, to believe that no matter where I come from, I can represent the country, obviously as we've seen with the Springboks.
Yeah.
And all those little gains and little wins are where we find South Africans being the contributing factor for us to reach our potential.
Karen, I want to come back to you and get a sense of, have you found that people in general are willing or have an appetite to learn about birth defects like Clubfoot and are willing to get actively involved in really just improving the livelihood of children from defects like this one?
Well, I think it's very much around information, because if people don't know about it, they were not going to get involved. If there's a one-on-one conversation or presentation about what Clubfoot is and how easily it can be treated with the right support, then the whole atmosphere changes. People want to get involved. I think the biggest issue around this is, for me, what this campaign is not only going to support these 400 children, but it's also going to normalize and destigmatize Clubfoot in our communities, where people will know that it's treatable. People will know that it's not the mother's fault that the child was born with Clubfoot, that that child can grow up, as Mpumi says, to have an incredible, productive life without the restrictions that an untreated Clubfoot can give you, or any other condition can give you, really, because this campaign is inclusive to anybody who wants to dream what is possible. You know, we're focusing on Clubfoot, but I think the message is universal, and it's a universal message of hope and overcoming any kind of adversity through the support of others.
Yeah, I mean, there's a component of information and education, as you've just described there. But what about the public health care resources? In your experience and in your engagements, have you found that parents and guardians have access to appropriate healthcare facilities, particularly public ones that are more affordable or free when their children are born with these conditions?
For the last 18 years, STEPS has worked hand in hand with orthopedic surgeons working within the public health sector, with the South African Pediatric Orthopedic Society, the main academic hospitals and universities, and we are now working with indirectly with government, because we use facilities that are part of the Department of Health, which is under-resourced. It's got incredible people working on the ground, dedicated, talented, skilled people, and all that we do is we help to support this. So it really is a partnership. And I would say that 9 times, in fact, 99 times out of 100, we have received incredible feedback and partnership and support. But I think the thing is that sometimes people don't know that help is out there, and that they can get the free treatment for their child. And I think also sometimes it's almost a question of luck, because if you're born in a small rural Eastern Cape village, the chances of you getting good Clubfoot treatment become less, because your parents have to travel, the transport costs are high. So a lot of the stuff that we're working on right now is decentralizing it, so that there are smaller clinics spread around the country, supported by STEPS, with healthcare professionals, that we run training workshops in this Ponseti method, which is the gold standard of treatment, so that we bring the care closer to children. This is a very important part of any birth defect, is that the care must be close to where they live, especially in a country with restricted resources.
So, Mpumi, with that, she did mention a little bit earlier that, explained rather very briefly your role in this particular campaign. Perhaps expand on that, and what do you hope that your ambassadorship in this campaign will ultimately achieve, apart from the fact that you are affording people the opportunity to understand that there is life beyond a defect and there is help out there?
And I think my biggest role is it's an ode to mobility, and to show that as ordinary South Africans, which I consider myself as one of, there's so much we can do in our own personal capacity to give back to our communities. And we don't have to wait for anyone. We don't have to wait for any policies. And all it takes is celebrating dance. All it takes is celebrating song, and which is a unifying love language of South Africans. We do it when we're in our own home communities doing tribal warfare. We do it when we're in our home communities celebrating life. And we just want to expand that love and show that if I can do the dance, I'm sure that...
I was about to ask you, how challenging or not challenging? I haven't watched the video yet, but I want to know, what was that experience like for you?
They gave me 4 minutes to learn the dance, and they recorded live so that me and Mapule could show the world how it's done. And what I can say is that if you've got African genes in you, it's easy. It's all about the hips.
Yeah.
And if you've done Jerusalem before, then you have no issues and there's no challenge. The real challenge is just sharing it into your communities.
Yeah, and just exposing people to the resources that are out there. We have run out of time, Karen, but I have to ask you, will you be participating in this dance challenge?
I must tell you that Mpumi, as good a dancer as an athlete, I was completely overwhelmed by how well and quickly he learned it. I have done a little bit of sunshine moves from the dance, but I still have to practice the whole routine. But I do promise I will put a video up for myself.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much to you both for joining us this afternoon. Karen and Mpumi, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. That is Karen Moss, who's the CEO of Steps Charity, and of course Mpumi Mhlongo, who is the ambassador of this particular Step It Up hashtag of the Clubfoot awareness campaign this month. And really just the opportunities to access to resources for parents and guardians that have children that are born with this particular condition.